This episode of the ASMRtist Show is brought to you by Audible.com, who has more than 180,000 audiobooks and spoken word audio products. Get a free audiobook of your choice at audibletrial.com/ASMR. That's audibletrial.com/ASMR.
When the world's got you down, when stress has beat you to your knees, there's one safe haven in the storm. ASMR is defined as autonomous sensory meridian response, a perceptual phenomena characterized as a pleasurable tingling sensation throughout the body in response to exterior stimuli, such as whispering or eating sounds. ASMR has spawned a growing community of tingleheads who are addicted to the sweet voices of those talented whisperers we call ASMRtists, who wield this stimuli to aid in our relaxation. Odds are, if you're here, then you're a tinglehead too. So welcome to the ASMRtist Show. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy a little me time with your host, Jose Prentice.
Welcome to episode 3, everybody. This is Jose Prentice, your ASMRtist host with the most. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm very happy to be here for a third time with you. I hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. I've been getting a lot of really great response from people, and I really appreciate all the comments and emails and things like that. You guys are the best, and I'm glad to be a part of this community. Today's episode is very special because we have our second guest, CJ from Soundbuds, and he is also our first male ASMRtist, so I'm very excited to get into the conversation with him. There will be a couple mentions of Pokemon, so if you are sensitive to Japanese toys and collecting them all, then fair warning. Before we get to the interview, I'm going to continue with my 50 goofy question tags here that I found on ASMRhub.com, so you guys get to know a little bit more about me. Here we go. I stopped at 10 last episode with Emma Whispers Red, so let's continue from 11. What kind of vehicle do you drive? I drive a Jeep Patriot, a dark blue one. I want to get the matte black finish on it with the vinyl wrap because I just think they look super badass. But that's down the road. Number 12, what are your favorite clothes? I'm a simple guy, like I said last time, so t-shirt and jeans kind of a thing. Usually a horror movie t-shirt or something. Usually that's all I have anyway. Number 13, where would you visit if you had the chance? Well, I really wanted to visit Paris, and I already did that. So if I had to pick another spot that I'd really like to visit, I would say Italy. That's a place I would love to visit. Number 14, cup half empty or half full? It depends on the day and my mood. Sometimes I'm really optimistic, and sometimes I'm really not. So it really depends on the day. But right now, half full. 15, where would you want to retire? A part of me wants to retire to St. Augustine, Florida, because my wife and I spent a lot of time there, and I love that place. But truth be told, I don't think I'll ever retire, so I will say nowhere. Number 16, favorite time of day? Definitely nighttime. I'm definitely a night owl, so I'm going to say favorite time of day, nighttime. I would say 11 p.m. to 3 a.m., kind of a time frame. Number 17, where were you born? I was born in Venezuela, actually. My parents were Cuban, but they wanted me to be born in the U.S., but my mom was pregnant at the time, and of course, I'm not really aware of the details. My parents passed away when I was 5 years old, so I don't really know the entire picture. All I know is I was born in Venezuela. I spent about 6 to 8 months there, and then I was taken to Miami. So that's where I was born. So people call me a Venezuelan, but I don't really consider myself that. 18. What is your favorite sport to watch? I'm not really into sports, so I'm gonna say probably the only thing I do watch is the Super Bowl. So I'll say football. Although I did do kung fu for a while, but there's not really any kung fu on TV except in the movies. So I guess I do like watching kung fu movies. You can count that. Number 19 and 20 are about tagging people back and forth, and since this is just for me, I'm going to skip it. So I'm just going to leave it there. 19 and 20 are sort of ephemeral to this conversation. So we're going to stop there, and we're going to go on to the interview with CJ from Soundbuds. This guy's really cool. He's got some really fun videos. He's got a lot of stuff to offer that's very different from a lot of the ASMR artists out there. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. And he's going to have something very special for us at the end of this episode, a very exclusive track that I know you guys are going to dig. I've also gotten a lot of good feedback about the rain sounds, the nature sounds that I played in episode 2. So I'm going to continue that. I'm going with nature sounds of the forest. So close your eyes if you are able to, obviously not if you're driving, and imagine yourself in the middle of a rainforest listening to me and CJ discuss ASMR. Enjoy. All right, now I'm gonna call you CJ. Is that cool, or should I call you Soundbuds, or what?
Ooh, yeah, CJ I think is good.
Gotcha. Okay.
If you want, you can call me CJ the Destroyer or CJ Captain Awesome or whatever.
Okay. I'll see what comes up.
CJ's good.
I'll see what comes up naturally. Well, I'm very happy to welcome to the show CJ of Soundbuds. How are you doing, CJ?
Yeah, really good. Thanks, Jose.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to join us in the studio here in Los Angeles. I know you're in the land down under, yes?
Yes. I'm riding a kangaroo as we speak.
Fantastic. How are those shrimps on the Barbie doing?
Pretty good. I don't know where that comes from, honestly. I really don't. We don't do that. Does anyone?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think we don't even do it down here, really. I don't think we don't really barbecue shrimp. That's kind of strange.
Yeah. We do eat a lot of Vegemite, though.
Oh, you do? What is Vegemite, by the way?
It's like a black spread that you put on toast.
Right. Is it vegetables or what?
Yeah, it's like vegetable extract or something, and it's sort of salty and black, and not a lot of people like it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very delicious, but okay, so that's good. We've been able to prove one thing about Australia so far, so that's good. So CJ, you have a channel on YouTube, and it is an ASMR channel. That's why you're here. You're an ASMRtist.
That's right.
How did you discover ASMR?
I think my story is pretty straightforward. I think I was just randomly looking through YouTube until I sort of stumbled upon it. I don't know what I was looking for prior to it, but you know how you kind of just keep searching suggested videos, and you kind of get into that weird part of YouTube.
Oh yeah.
where you find some just very niche, weird things, and I think ASMR popped up, and a pretty girl's face on the thumbnail. So I was like, oh, this looks quite interesting, and then I clicked it, and I didn't think I ever got out of that weird part of YouTube. I think I just stayed there for like a couple of hours or so.
Do you remember who your first ASMRtist was?
I don't. I think I just sort of went through a lot of different people, and I think at that point, it was probably 2 years ago, I'd say, and it was just basically only a couple of them. So whoever the first sort of ASMR artists were, just trying to think, that redheaded girl, what's her name? Penelope Volps or something?
Oh, okay, yeah, I know her.
Yeah, I think she might have been one of the first ones that I heard, and she's still pretty prominent now, so she's done pretty well.
So how did you go about sort of discovering what your triggers were?
Yeah, I think it's just trial and error, going through, trying a bit of everything. Usually what gets me is just as simple as just the softly whispered and spoken voices, but it takes a certain kind of voice to really get me. Like, I find that the raspy voices are good. If there's some kind of a huskiness to their voice, I always found in real life, not in YouTube, I always found that voice to be really sort of pleasing to my ears. So I just sort of search for that on a daily basis, trying to find that perfect voice.
Now, is there anything specific that goes along with it? Do you like role plays, or do you just like random, like, hey, look what's in my purse kind of stuff?
You know what? I actually find role plays a bit weird for me. I know a lot of people say the same, and it's, you know, it's sort of, again, it's a niche type thing within a niche. But yeah, I don't know, I can't quite fully get into role plays. I much prefer just simple sounds rather than a whole immersive experience. They just kind of weird me out a little bit in a way. And that's how I can actually understand when people go, "Oh, it's a bit weird, isn't it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it is pretty weird, I guess."
Yeah, it's funny because for me, I love the role plays, but I like the reason I like them. I think is because they are kind of bizarre and they're kind of
Yeah.
they're kind of weird. You're like, okay, so I'm watching this person, pretend to sell me some DVDs, or hey, this stuff is on sale at the grocery store. Let me give you a rundown of what's on sale. I mean, it is bizarre, but that's my favorite ASMR video is doing going to the role play stuff. It's strange, and sounds don't exactly affect me, like crinkling and like flicking and tapping. That doesn't really do it for me. I like more when there's dialogue involved, and it's
somewhat of a storyline.
Yeah, somewhat of a storyline, and it's kind of really innocuous and kind of dumb. I don't know what it is. That does it for me. But hey, I mean, you're right. It's a niche within a niche. It's very strange. Everybody has a different perceptions.
Yeah, and actually, there's one ASM artist in Brisbane where I live who I've actually had the pleasure of meeting, and she does some pretty kooky stuff. If you don't mind me plugging her on your show.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, her name is Angel's Whispering ASMR on YouTube. And yeah, she's great. She's absolutely fantastic.
Awesome.
She's only just started like me, so we're both sort of in the game together at the same level. So yeah, I think there's going to be some collaborations with me and her in the future for sure.
Is there a big community of ASM artists in Australia, or is it just you guys just kind of find yourselves on YouTube and you go, oh hey, this person's sort of near me?
Yeah, well, because I'm fairly new to it, I'm actually not sure of the whole Australian community. All I know of is Angels Whispering ASMR in Brisbane. I do know that there's a couple on the Gold Coast who I haven't been able to contact yet, and there's sort of spread around here and there. But yeah, I think there probably would be, because we love YouTube down here. We're all on YouTube. There'd be enough, and there's a lot of creative people here in Brisbane and in Australia and Queensland. There's so many people wanting to make YouTube videos, so it wouldn't be crazy to think that there's quite a large community down here. And if there is, I really want to tap into it and get together and have some events and really get to know the community. So I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, please do. So, what convinced you to start your own channel? I mean, that it takes a lot for somebody to say, "Oh, I'm a fan of this thing, but now I'm going to be a creator of this thing." What spurred you to do that?
Yeah, well, when I was young, I've always been into video creation. I think when I was about like 8 or 9, I started filming like little clay animations with my mum's camera.
Oh, nice.
And so you sort of take a photo, you move the clay man, and you take another photo, and you keep moving him until it looks like, you put them all together and it makes a moving image.
Right.
I was really into that, and then later on in my life, I got into like parkour and free running, like urban tricks and different backflips and stuff like that.
No way.
Yeah, I know.
That's awesome.
It's pretty crazy. It was one part of my life. So I got into filming that, and I'm just really sort of a creative person by nature. I did a multimedia degree after leaving school after grade 10. So I have the skills to go along with it. So I like graphic design, animation, audio, film, just everything creative is what I'm really into. So it kept leading me to YouTube. I made a free running channel a couple of years back that did reasonably well.
Nice.
But then when my free running partner sort of left me, it was this really sad moment because now I no longer had someone to do it with, so I stopped that channel. I got into Beyblades, where I would just film my own Beyblade collection, which did quite well again. And then so I guess when I started getting into ASMR and mental health, relaxation, sleep aids and stuff like that, I thought, well, hey, I can use my talents and make a really cool channel here, especially one that has a really cool kind of graphic design element to it and a real cool branding attached to it as well. I thought I could really make something here.
Right.
And put my personality behind it. And I think it just led me down to Soundbuds.
That's awesome. I'm gonna backtrack a bit to the parkour or free running stuff. It's not ASMR, but you know what? It's my show, and we can go off track whenever we want to. So that stuff fascinates the hell out of me. How do you not break your legs doing even the simplest things? I mean, I hurt my knee. I was on crutches for almost a year because I fell off my bicycle. So I can't even imagine, like the stuff that some of these people do. And I'm gonna track down your channel, by the way, because I can't wait to watch that stuff. Like how do you keep yourself from dying? Is my question basically.
You put mattresses down whenever you can. You take whatever safety precautions you can take. It doesn't matter if you look stupid. It's like when people ride their skateboards. You never see them in like, knee guards and elbow guards anymore. And some of them don't even wear helmets. So
right.
It's much the same. You just have to protect yourself and know your limits. To take that question quite seriously. You really don't want to break your neck or your spine because that'll ruin your life forever. I think you just have to have an element. You have to have an element of insanity to you to be able to just try something that you've never tried before, knowing that there is a huge risk, which is just interesting, isn't it? It's very fascinating that people could actually just beat their fear and do a backflip for the first time. But yeah, I've always been into like personal development, self-development, and I think that's why I was interested in parkour and free running because, I don't know, to get quite deep with it, it gave me that sense of freedom that I think I always really look for in life. Because you do whatever you want. You want to jump that fence. You jump that fence. You don't take the stairs. You jump down the stairs. You do whatever you want to do to get from point A to point B as fast as you can. And I think that was just really, really the draw for me.
Now, is it something you practice? I mean, was there like a coach, or did you just kind of did whatever you wanted to do? Felt like, okay, I'm gonna try this and see what happens.
Okay, well, I got to clarify. I did this in grade 10 when I was sort of young and stupid. I would just go out to my backyard and put the mattress down and sort of try and flip onto it.
Gotcha.
and then eventually, when I was able to sort of accomplish some interesting things, I would try and do it without the mattress. And then I would try and impress people at school, and it was this whole fun thing to do at school, which I always got in trouble for from the teachers, because they obviously didn't want me to break my neck on their watch.
Right, right.
But yeah, I don't practice today. I'm very much a safe person today. I don't do anything crazy. I try and stay away from breaking my legs as much as possible these days.
That's a good idea. The older you get, the more frail your bones start to get. I mean, I just turned 36, man, and I'm feeling it.
I just turned 24, and I'm feeling it. So that's all good.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, I know you don't do parkour anymore, but maybe there's a way to mix ASMR and parkour somehow. I don't know, but I mean, you might be the guy to figure this out.
Yeah, well, I've often thought tutorials, any kind of tutorial, you could just do a tutorial in ASMR fashion.
Oh, right.
Because on YouTube, tutorials and how-tos and DIYs are a hugely searched topic. So if you put ASMR to that as well, you could create a really cool experience. So you could learn how to tie a tie, but also have these whispering tingles while you learn. Two birds, one stone.
There you go. Okay, well, let's get back to ASMR. Tell me about Buddy.
Buddy, oh, he's great. I wish you could see him right now. He's sitting next to me. I put him on the shelf. He's got his pedestal. Buddy is basically just a 3DO FreeSpace Pro microphone, which I think comes from LA. A guy from in LA. So,
okay.
Just a local producer. And yeah, he's silicon ears with two omnidirectional microphones one placed in each ear, and they basically pick up the sound from every direction, but since they're inside the ears, they pick up the sound coming directly towards the ears,
Right.
in that kind of cone shape. And so what it creates is just a really immersive, realistic 3D audio experience, and it's just uncanny how realistic it can be, and how little background noise there is, which makes it, Buddy is just awesome for ASMR, because that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm whispering into the ears, so I just had to get him, which set me back quite a bit. They're not cheap, the microphones, but I'm a bit of an audiophile. I want the quality of my videos to be as good as they can be, really.
Right.
And still be accessible on YouTube, which unfortunately actually does mean that the audio quality is lost a little bit through the video.
Right.
But compared to SoundCloud and other audio websites, you just get so much more viewership on YouTube, which is really fascinating in itself, because, that's where everyone goes to listen to music now, is on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
and then hence that's why I think a lot of ASMR artists are on YouTube as well. You don't get a lot on the other websites.
Right. Well, I mean, it's the one site that I think makes the most sense. It kind of combines both. Some people are visually, into the ASMR thing, and visually triggered, and other people are auditory. I'm sort of more auditory, I think, unless it's a really good role play, and I want to see what the person's trying to tell me about. But I've seen the 3DO microphone used by a whole bunch of other ASMR artists, so I'm guessing that's something that's sort of sweeping the market, as it were.
Yeah, well, when I was looking for it, it was the only one I could really find.
Right.
I think it was just such a niche audience, from what everyone's perspective was, that there just wasn't enough market involved in it. But I think when ASMR popped up, I think that's when 3DO was like, oh, now my market is much bigger.
Right.
And so now he's even got version 2 and version 3 of the same microphone, which I think the latest one comes with ears all the way around it, so you can actually have an interactive experience.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which is really interesting, but there's in no way do I have enough money to be able to finance that endeavor. But very interesting.
One day when you make the parkour ASMR movie.
When I combine all my talents in life into
Yes.
one cohesive video, yeah.
Well, let's talk about your channel. Probably at least in my opinion, the biggest part of your channel revolves around Pokemon. So
Yes.
I mean, I would say you've cornered the market on Pokemon unboxings. I assume you're a fan. I don't know.
No, I hate Pokemon. What is it? I don't even know. No,
that would be great if you said, "Oh, I just grabbed these random cards and I bullshit my way through them."
Yeah. You notice I mispronounced some of the names, and I'm like, is it Dodrio? Oh, I don't know how to say it. No, I've been into Pokemon ever since it came out. So when I was like 10, I think. I'm 24 now, so it's been out for about 15 years. Okay. So I've been a big fan the whole way through, and it's just never stopped. My parents always thought it was a phase, and clearly now it's not. So I've got tons and tons of countless Pokemon cards in my collection. And it's a bit of an OCD thing, I think, with me. With Pokemon, the whole idea is you've got to catch them all.
That's true.
I took it quite literally, and I'm really now trying to catch them all.
Oh my god. Do you have any idea what you have in terms of card number?
Oh, okay. Well, if we can do the math real quick, I have a lot of... So I've got one of those massive folders of the sheets, right, where I slot the cards into the spaces. And so there is, looking at it, there's 9 on each one, and there's 2 sides. And I think I've got about 30 or 40 pages of those.
Wow.
So 30 or 40 times 18 is roughly the...
I can bring up my calculator real quick.
We could have a rough estimate right now. I don't want to know, to be honest.
Don't worry about it. We'll have the audience figured out. We're not talking about
Ooh.
math. This isn't a math a
Yes,
math
thank you.
podcast, so that we'll let them figure it out if they want to. We'll just say you have a lot.
There's a lot. There is a lot.
Do you have a favorite, or I guess it'd be hard to choose if you have, you know, as many as you have.
Yeah, I guess I have different categories of my favorites. Like, there's the rarest ones that I've got, which would be in my favorite category, and there's just the ones that just look awesome to me. I actually just put that in its own category itself. But I think I've got, I think I showed it in my live stream, a Skarmory EX card, which is really quite rare, and it's also one of my favorite Pokemon, so that definitely ranks up there. And then I just got. I call it caught. I just caught a Venusaur EX as well in my latest video, so that was always that's going to be up there as well. Any EX cards are the most rare ones, but I'm still yet to get a gold EX card, which is the most rare one you can really get. But my girlfriend has one of those, so that's a cause for jealousy between us.
There you go. Maybe she'll give it to you for a birthday present or something.
Yeah, I always talk about trying to trade it with her with like 100 different cards, but she won't do it. So.
Well, that's good. You guys have that to share. I think if I started collecting Pokemon cards, I don't think my wife my wife would understand. Just
deal?
because
Okay.
the thing is, I don't know. Do you play the cards, or do you just kind of collect them for the art? Because I wouldn't play it.
Yeah, well, I don't actually play the cards at all. Really, I just sort of collect them. It's like I said, it's just an OCD thing.
Gotcha.
Again, like with Tarzos, when that Tarzos came out, or whatever you might call them something different over there. Pogs, are they called?
Oh yeah, Pogs. Okay.
Yeah, so whenever those sort of things came out, I always got pretty hard into those, and like I said, Beyblades, those spinning battle tops that came out a while ago is something I'm always collecting as well. So I think I'm just a collector by nature. It just serves as a bit of an CD within me.
Well, I was gonna say, I'm a collector too, but I collect like movies and books and toys and things like that. But yeah, and I used to collect cards. I used to collect the Marvel and DC comic book cards that they used to put out. I mean, I don't know if they still do, but back in the '90s, I used to grab all those up, and they didn't have a game attached to them, so it was easier to just kind of collect them and look at them.
Yeah. Oh, the game is huge in Pokemon, massive. They have tournaments and everything.
Right, and like, isn't there like a cash prize too if you win?
Yeah, pretty sure it's really big.
That's
really
insane.
big. They've got different age categories, up to 18 and then over, like an adults tournament. So it's pretty big.
And I was gonna suggest, if you hadn't done one yet, which I looking through your channel and you haven't, you could have done a video on how to play Pokemon cards. But now I know you don't really play it, so.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I'm not alone. Like, there's a lot of people who just collect them for the sake of collecting them, and then you get the other half of it who are really just into playing it.
Right.
I think if you're into playing it, you've got to be into collecting it, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
One comes with the other.
I mean, you're right. The slogan is "You got to catch them all, not you got to play them all." So.
That's it. But there is the games as well, and then I do play the actual Pokemon video games on DS and on Game Boy and stuff. So,
have you considered doing any Let's Plays of those videos?
I have. I just need to find a way to record the screen of the DS. I think you just have to get some kind of attachment for it. So
yeah.
Forgive the pun, but that's definitely in the cards.
Ah.
Oh,
nice. So that's almost a perfect exit point for the cards. But I've got one last question. Do you plan on collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards?
Oh, I did go through the phase of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but at the time I was too young to sort of really afford the real ones, so I just kept collecting the fake ones. which is a huge problem in the card industry. There's so many fakes around.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, you've got to buy them from the actual proper stores, like Toys R Us and stuff like that. Do you have Toys R Us over there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Toys R Us. Yeah, you got to go to those ones.
Oh, so you mean like buy them at an actual brick and mortar place instead of like Amazon or eBay or something like that?
That's it, and definitely no to marketplaces. Every Pokemon card at a marketplace is basically fake.
Wow.
Yeah, be careful.
That's scary.
Yeah.
The only reason I mentioned Yu-Gi-Oh is because for a very brief moment in time, I really only bought 2 packs of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. My friend George had gotten into them because his little cousin was buying them, and my friend George is kind of one of these guys that just he gloms onto something and all of a sudden he's a fan of it instantly. So
Yeah.
I was with him. I was like, all right, I'll buy a couple, and maybe I'll get into it. So I opened these 2 packs and I'm looking at these cards, and I just what the hell am I doing? I don't collect these, and I gave it to his nephew or his little cousin, and that was my whole stint of collecting any kind of card game. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh. I've had my brush with Yu-Gi-Oh, but not with Pokemon. I watched the show though. I assume you like the show.
Yeah. I think everyone likes the show. It's just a bit of fun.
Right. All right. For everyone listening out there, sorry for getting into the Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh discussion, but it needed to be addressed. It's a big part of Soundbuds, and it needed to be discussed.
Yes. And there's going to be so many more to come. There will be primarily Pokemon cards, Beyblades, and possibly Yu-Gi-Oh cards now, Jose. You might have got me into Yu-Gi-Oh now.
Uh-oh. All right. Well, hey.
And there's also Magic the Gathering as well.
Yeah.
So
there you go. Well, throw me a shout out.
Avenues.
if you do
As
Yu-Gi-Oh.
suggested by Jose.
There you go. All right, so let's get more in depth here on the channel. You've got I'm calling it Yu-Gi-Oh. You got the Pokemon stuff, but you also do white noise videos.
Yes, actually, primarily white noise videos at this point.
Yeah. You've got it's like I think I'm looking at your channel. You got 30 videos that are primarily white noise. The rain sounds are my favorites. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, definitely rain sounds for me, I think, as well.
Nice.
The rain on tin roof, rain on the just normal rain noises, and on the leaves and on different things. I think is just such a nice, diverse kind of sound. It's not a droning fan noise, which I am a fan of. Forgive the pun again. But I think the rain just is got such a depth to it, and it can rise and fall and just have so much character to it. So yeah, like on some videos I've got multiple rain sounds on just the same kind of thing. Like I've got 3 different kinds of rain on car roof, just to show you that there's just so much depth in it, and I really like it.
Now, also something you mentioned on your channel is that people can overlay the different sounds to create their own personal soundscapes.
That's right. Yeah.
Now that would be sort of like if you took like a rain on a car roof, and then you also did the car driving sounds. It would be sort of create this kind of richer experience. Is that the idea?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So if you want to sound like you're driving in the rain. Then you could do that. And actually, you know what? It's funny you say that, because I now need to record the windscreen wipers.
Oh, yeah.
To go along with that, right? Because no one just drives in the rain without using the wipers.
Exactly.
So I think every video I make kind of almost leads into another idea because of that sort of setup. So when I got, the bathroom fan, I was like, well, now I have to get bathroom, shower. And then I need to get this, and then I need to get that, and then it just goes on like that.
And do you record it with Buddy, or use something else?
I do. In fact, I think I've got a photo somewhere of Buddy inside the shower with a shower cap on him, which was a bit of a risky move on my behalf, but I just really wanted to capture that sound of being underneath the rain, underneath the shower.
Sure. So most of these are like 2 hours long. Do you loop it all, or is it all 2 hours live?
No, I do loop it. I try to get about half an hour at the least. If I can get an hour or more, then I try to. But in some cases, it's just not possible because of space on the card, of battery
Right.
life in the recording, or just plain old annoying sounds that happen during the recording that I've got to then take out of the final edit.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot of things that have to be taken into consideration, but mostly for the fact that I actually can't upload much longer than 2 hours, because uploading these videos alone takes me about 6 hours.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, so I have to sort of upload during the night so that nobody in my household gets annoyed with the slower internet speed. Because actually, in Down Under, we have really bad internet, so it's unfortunate. Yeah. It's an unfortunate thing for YouTubers down here, but hopefully NBN, which is the National Broadband Network, will be rolling out to more places in Australia. And that'll hopefully be able to allow me to do 8-hour, 10-hour uploads.
Wow.
And when that happens, I certainly will just go back through all of them and make 10-hour versions, and then link the 2-hour versions to the 10-hour versions so that people can go, oh, okay, well, if I'm going to listen to this all night, I would rather the 10-hour one. And I think that is, I don't call it a complaint, but I think that is probably the most suggested thing in my comments.
Right.
Is why don't you make them longer? And it's always painful to hear, because I would love to make them longer. Absolutely.
Well, there you go. You heard it here first, folks. He's trying, but
it's in the cards.
It's in the cards. Speaking of in the cards, what else? What's next for white noise? You mentioned wiper blades during the driving. Anything else?
Oh, I've got a list somewhere. I should try and find it. But there's plenty of different sounds that I want to get, and there's actually plenty of sounds that I already do have that just need to be made into videos. So one thing I would really like to get is another beach sound, because the one I got is sort of, it's relaxing, but it's kind of more, it sounds more like a storm at the beach. It's kind of got a much harsher sound to it,
right.
Because I recorded it at Burleigh Heads here in Queensland. So I've got the beach sound already, but it's just sort of crashing on rocks at the moment, so it makes sort of a harsher sound. I would like to get more of a relaxing at the beach, like on the sand kind of sound. So yeah, naturally the waves sound quite different when they're crashing on sand as opposed to the rocks. And also I did actually do a recording of like a cafe, like a restaurant, at night. So that adds a different element to it. So there's people talking, but you can't really discern any kind of conversation because there's just so many different people talking. So I think that's a kind of a cool sound to sleep to as well. But yeah, there's so many. Have you got any ideas?
There's one that comes to mind actually. There was I forget the company who put it out, but there was a DVD that came out. It was a double feature with like these two kind of cheesy black and white horror movies, but there was an audio feature that you can add, put on top of it, sort of as a commentary track. But it was you heard the movie, but on top of it there was an overlay of sound as if you were watching it at a drive-in movie theater. So, there was like the sound of like people walking, like going to the snack bar or whatever, maybe horns honking in the distance, or just kind of like crickets chirping. And so it kind of, the idea was to sort of put you back in that place where you're sitting in your car outside watching a movie.
Wow.
That might be something to try, but then again, and that's maybe something that somebody can overlay while they watch a movie, or the cafe one I like a lot. I think that's really neat. I would I'd definitely get a kick out of that one, mixing that with the rain sound. I think that'd be really good.
Yeah, and actually, so I've got chirping crickets, so if you sort of put chirping crickets with maybe a bit of rain, a light rain on the car roof, and then you watch a movie, it could sound kind of like you're, I don't know, kind of watching a movie at night. There's a little bit of rain on your car. But yeah, absolutely. Ideas like that are really cool because it's just so open. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right.
One video can be overlaid on really anything, and you don't know what it's going to sound like until you try it. So I'm constantly trying like really weird combinations that don't make sense, just to hear the different kind of soundscape that it creates, and it's just a lot of fun.
Have you ever wanted to just kind of play a practical joke just for your amusement? Like maybe, let's say it's crickets chirping, and then you put like a toilet flushing in the background or something.
Yeah,
You know?
it's a coincidence that you say that, because when I recorded Chirping Crickets, it's funny, when I was listening back to it, because it was actually outside on my lawn, there was, I think, a cat or a possum or something that was nearby, and I don't know if you've ever heard when cats kind of, what's the nice word for this, mate.
Oh yeah.
They make a horrendous sound.
Oh yeah.
And while I was listening back to because I'm not there during my recordings. I usually just sort of walk away and do something for the time being. And so I wasn't there when I heard it on the day, but when I was listening back to it, I was sitting there in my chair, kind of relaxing. Oh, this is really nice. This is a really good sound. And then all of a sudden, there's just this really loud kind of noise right near the ears, and it scared the crap out of me. And so I actually had that thought while I listened to it, like, what if I kept that in? What if people were sleeping and then all of a sudden they just heard this horrendous cat sound?
Well, I mean that sort of brings up another question for me. I'm really huge into the paranormal, so I'm curious. Have you ever accidentally caught something? You're like, wait a minute, was that somebody saying something or?
Whoa! No, I don't think so. Sometimes when it's a fan noise, when it's just a very consistent white noise,
right?
When I listen to it for the whole hour, and I'm listening out for parts that that stick out to me. I start sort of having these almost like auditory hallucinations, because I start almost hearing like there is someone talking. So maybe that could be it, though. I don't know, Jose.
Well, they do say
that's a good question.
They say that spirits communicate through white noise. So you never know. You never know.
I'm gonna pay more attention to that in the next video.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I wonder if I could somehow manipulate the audio. Because what I sometimes do is I change the frequency volume of the different kinds of frequencies, just because, like, let's say, for instance, on my vacuum cleaner, you know how vacuums make that really high-pitched kind of tone?
Right.
I had to tone that back a little bit because it was bordering on that annoying level.
Right.
So I wonder if I could sort of manipulate the audio, take away a certain amount of different frequencies, and actually end up with some interesting paranormal-sounding content.
You might.
Interesting.
Think about that for maybe a Halloween special or something. You guys have Halloween, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, we do. We do. We don't celebrate it as much as you guys over there, but we try to. I think girls use it as an excuse to doll up and look good.
Gotcha. Well, that's all right then. There's no reason to. You can't knock that. That's nice.
That's right. That's worth celebrating.
Yeah, exactly.
You're listening to the ASMRtist Show with Jose Prentice, author of the best-selling novel Elementary, My Dear Watson, available on Amazon.com.
We'll get right back to CJ in a moment, but first I want to tell you about our sponsor, Audible.com. They're helping us keep the lights on here at the podcast, and if you support the show, well, I hope you go and support them as well. Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook of your choice and a free 30-day trial membership. All you got to do is go to audibletrial.com/ASMR and choose from over 180,000 audiobooks. Download any title and start listening. It's that easy. So go to audibletrial.com/ASMR. That's audibletrial.com/ASMR and get started today. Head on over to audibletrial.com/ASMR and go grab that free book. Recommend something to me, by the way. I'm always on the hunt for something good to read, or in this case, listen to. You rock, Audible.
If you like the show, then please subscribe so as not to miss the next tingly episode. And make sure to share it with your pals. Also, please consider leaving an iTunes comment, which really helps us get the word out about the show and ASMR in general. Thanks for being a tinglehead. Now let's get back to the show.
So tell me about the live streams. You've done a couple of those. How tricky is that to set up?
Yeah, it's pretty tricky. I actually don't have the full knowledge myself, which is why I use a friend who does, and he actually sets up 2 cameras looking at me and has a whole system on his computer that he has a program that actually streams all the content into him, and then he kind of cuts and does it like live, like he'll cut and edit while he's there.
Right.
So that's why you get some of those different cuts to different cameras, and you get the split screen and different things and the overlays. And yeah, he's really quite talented. But I do believe that that is the future of YouTube. I think as internet improves and as we're all able to stream live, there will be a lot more people doing it, because I think people just by nature like to see stuff as it happens rather than like post edited and done up. I mean, I don't know, I'm just speaking for myself, but I'm a fan of watching people on Twitch, and actually there's an app called Periscope, which I'm a huge fan of and I want to do videos on, where you're able to stream live from your phone, your mobile device.
Uh-huh.
And I just think there's something huge in that. There's something massive about watching someone do something right then and there from the other side of the world. Like, that's just so cool for me to think about, that I could be watching someone at a music festival or on holidays, or, you know, just talking to the camera right then and there without any special effects or editing. It's just so much more intimate and natural, and yeah, I'm drawn to the live stream stuff for sure. I want to do, you know, quite a bit more of it in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think that's definitely a direction that I think any kind of content provider is probably heading towards, especially now that, you know, TV is sort of falling by the wayside, and you know, people are you know, either doing Netflix or Hulu, or just kind of, you know, sort of controlling their own way. I think people sort of will start to miss that live experience and that kind of immediate experience, and I think YouTube's going to be the one place that they can actually get it. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think ASMR by its nature is intimate, and it's close, and it's personal, and it's something that I think would really do well on live stream. The fact that you're able to like really talk to your audience, not just role play and pretend, but to actually engage and receive feedback and talk to them one-on-one is just really cool, and that's what I want to do more of. But it's just a matter of having the utility to do it,
right?
Which is the hard part, and it's probably going to be the reason why I'm not going to be able to do it, you know, on a weekly basis, just for the fact that it is hard to set up. So, but I want to start a Patreon soon, and try and get people more involved with the channel, and you know, people who want to support me. I want to give some kind of way for them to do that, and I think Patreon is so much better than PayPal or any other kind of donation service, because you're able to provide kind of perks for whatever they donate. I don't know if you've heard much about Patreon.
No, but, I mean, I know a lot of ASMR artists are sort of signed up on it. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about it?
So Patreon is like Kickstarter for YouTubers and creative artists. So musicians also use Patreon. And what it allows you to do is you create your content as normal, but it gives your audience the ability to pledge a certain amount of money to you monthly or per video. So you decide whether if you're creating videos every week, maybe not per video, but if you're, doing quite a few videos, if people really like what you're creating, then they want to sort of support you to create better content or to keep you going, I guess. So you can donate as little as $1, $10, $20, whatever you feel that you want to contribute. You pledge that monthly, and what you get in return is perks. So much like Kickstarter, when you reach a certain level of donation, you get something back. So I haven't really fully thought it out yet, but I think it would be cool to give people downloads of my MP3s at a certain level, maybe early content so they get it before others on YouTube. Right. Interactions with me through live stream, on a weekly personal basis. And just different things like that, like giveaways, maybe shout-outs on my videos. So I could, if you donating $1 or something, next video I create, I will say your name in ASMR whisper or something like that. which would be pretty cool, I think, for the audience, and it would really help me because, I mean, right now I've got 1,450 subscribers. So when that goes up and up and up, there's going to be more and more audience
Right.
For me to engage with. So I think Patreon is really going to start being part of what I do. Because that's what it's all about, really, in the end. It's just about engaging with your audience and giving back to them. That's the part I enjoy the most, is just reading the comments every day and interacting with everybody. It's really the satisfying part.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, ASMR in general is, like you said, it's very intimate. So, you know, connecting with the people who like to hear you whisper and who like to, you know, watch you open Pokemon cards, that's just, you're right, it's part of it. It's part of the whole process.
It's also like a bit of a validation for me too, because everybody I talk to in real life is just sort of like, oh, that is so weird. And it's really helpful for me to come back home and go, oh, these guys understand at least. Well, another thing about the ASMR community is it's just so nice, you know, like everyone has something nice to say. I've not heard anything that's been remotely mean in any way. Everyone's just really obliging and just have heard nothing but nice things. It's just really amazing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think if there's one community that I think deserves to, to be spread out across the world a little bit more, it's the ASMR community, because it's all about peace and relaxation, and I'm not gonna say being at oneness with yourself. I'm not gonna get zen with it, but it's definitely all a part of that. And I think in the way the world is right now, and stuff is so stressful. You know, daily life is such a hassle. I mean, if you can find something that makes you happy, that's so simple, it's definitely worth talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you hit the nail right on the head just then. It's free to access every day. You're just really spoiled for choice, so there's always something new to listen to, and it does cater for those things like stress, anxiety, panic attacks, depression. I think generally it just solves that need for connection that a lot of people have these days.
Right.
I think with internet and technology, it does unfortunately lend itself to making us a little disconnected. While it connects us in so many different ways, there is that slight disconnection that we all have through that screen. And I think if we're able to use video and audio to gain that intimate connection with just someone random in the world, it's just such an amazing thing to have.
Right.
And as virtual reality and augmented reality comes out, I think it's going to play a big role in that realm, because we are going to need to find ways to connect with each other, because if we don't, we're going to lose our humanity, and it's a serious issue. to get all deep with you now.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. It's
yeah.
Have you watched the movie Wall-E?
Yes, I have multiple times.
That's totally what I picture us becoming in the future. Just big fat blobs, and robots do everything for us.
Yeah,
it's sad, but we're sort of heading in that direction, sadly.
Yeah, and I think above and beyond all of the parts where I was sort of saying, this is my skill set and this is why I wanted to create, and I'm a creative person, I think there is that underlying need to solve this issue. And while I might not be able to do it as an individual, I think as a community we do have a massive impact. And unfortunately, ASMR is just so new. There's just not enough people really know about it. I mean, it's huge on YouTube, but as soon as you tell anyone in the real world, people just don't understand it until they hear it. So, yeah, I'm a huge advocate for it. If we can get it out there more, like by doing your show and by just somehow promoting it and showing people the benefits of it, then I really do think it can blow up and be even bigger than it is now.
Well, I on the last show I had Dr. Craig Richard on, and he was saying, with enough, study and practice, it could be used to treat, mental disorders and things like that, which would be amazing. I mean, get people off of drugs and find a way to, relax them to a state where their mind can heal itself. That would be fantastic.
Absolutely, and I think that's where the virtual reality part actually can come into it too. If you use sort of virtual reality headsets and stuff, and had someone in virtual reality walk around you and cater to your needs and whisper to you, I could honestly see that being an actual therapy. I could really, really see that.
Now let's talk about
Absolutely.
another layer of your channel, which has in different circumstances been used as sort of a mind altering therapy. Binaural beats. Now
Yes.
you have two binaural beat videos currently anyway. Are you a composer, or was it just kind of experimentation on your part?
I use a program called FL Studio. So yeah, so I guess I am sort of a composer in a way. I do make a little bit of music as well, which I would like to put up on my channel as long as I can get past my sort of, I don't know, I guess you get a bit scared when it's something you've specifically creatively made.
Oh yeah.
And releasing it to the world. But yeah, I do make a bit of music and I use FL Studio, and yeah, so binaural beats is just a matter of playing one tone in one ear and another slightly different tone in the other ear. And you know, the difference between the tones is, you know, very slight, and it's about, you know, 4 or 5 or 6 hertz, and the 6 hertz is also correlates to the brainwave pattern.
Right.
So at 6 hertz, you're you're in a state of relaxation. That's really cool, and I am experimenting with that. I don't claim that it does the things that it does, but I do know that there's been anecdotal evidence, like countless anecdotal evidence, that it does work. So I pretty much leave it up to the audience to decide that part. You know, I want to put out these binaural beats and say, hey, how has this worked for you? You know, what have you been able to achieve whilst listening to this? Is it working? Is it not working? That kind of thing.
Right. Well, when there's a lot of videos on YouTube, just you know, binaural beats. You know, open your third eye, and this helps with stress. You know, this. If you listen to this will help you, you know, with anger management issues and things like that. And you know, I've looked into those and they're fascinating. They're not as relaxing, but I definitely think there might be something there in terms of how it affects maybe the vibration of your firing neurons or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, so I can't.
Neither am I, mate. Neither am I.
But
no,
I like I like the concept.
Yeah, and like, it's funny what you said. It's annoying. Some of them are really annoying, and even the ones that I've got up by themselves, I find to be quite intrusive. So what I'll do is I'll play one of my binaural beats with a sort of dull white noise to help it kind of have its place, so to speak, on the register.
Right.
Because a lot of them are just like one tone, and it does have that kind of sounds kind of like tinnitus.
Right.
But that's actually a whole other can of worms too, is the fact that some people are making videos of different frequencies to counteract the tone that you hear with your tinnitus. If you can pinpoint the actual tone of your tinnitus, because everyone has sort of like a different frequency that they're hearing when they get their tinnitus. And if you can pinpoint that, I've just heard this recently, so I'm probably talking out of my ass right now, but if you can pinpoint the tone of your tinnitus and then counteract it with a sort of separate tone, you can kind of cancel it out in some way or something.
Oh, wow, okay.
Is what I've heard from somewhere, some unknown source.
Well, that'd be
anyway.
great. That'd be great. I know a couple people who have it, so that'd be kind of nice if there was a way to, you know, sort of diffuse the bomb in a way.
Exactly. So it would be cool to have a whole playlist of videos with different frequencies. If you knew your tone, then you could go find the frequency that counteracted your tone. So, but that is a lot of videos. That would be, you know, a couple of hundred videos on different frequencies.
Right.
But I mean, that is something so useful because there's so many people that suffer from it. It's a very common thing.
Yeah, no, that'd be that would definitely be something useful, and I think that's hopefully what a discussion about ASMR would spur in the community. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've got a list of goofy question tags here, and I'm gonna give you I got 50. I'm not gonna give you all 50. I'm gonna pick 5 random ones. Okay. And then you just
Sure.
give me an answer off the top of your head, and then we'll get to know a little bit more about CJ. You ready?
Oh God. Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Do you have any pets?
I do. His name is Harley, and he is a dog.
What kind of dog?
He's a he kind of looks like a pug crossed with a chihuahua. It's called a Brussels Griffon.
Nice. Okay, I've never heard of that version, but I believe you. Are you a coffee drinker?
No, I'm not a tea drinker either. Weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
I drink water.
I'm a big coffee guy. I mean, I love water too, but coffee's my thing.
Okay.
Let's see. Do you have a favorite ice cream?
It's got a funny name, but I like it. It's a Golden Gay Time. Do you have them over there? No, it's the worst sounding ice cream. I know.
I don't. We don't have it over here.
It's kind of like, okay, so it's like caramel ice cream on the inside, chocolate coating on the outside, but with kind of like what would you call it? Like a biscuit, a lot of biscuity bits around the outside as well. It's
Gotcha.
yum. It's good.
Okay.
Look it up on Google.
I'm scared to. It's called.
Oh, actually, don't look it up.
Yeah. I'm scared too. I'll take your word for it. That's an ice cream. All right, number 4. Are you a bird watcher?
Oh, I don't watch them, but I listen to them for sure. Like, my Currumbin, I went down to Currumbin, which is a nice place just on the border of New South Wales and Queensland, and they've got just amazing bird species down there. And that's where I recorded my Australian rainforest birds. And there's these birds in Australia called they're whip birds, and they make this kind of sound, and they're just amazing. So yeah, I definitely listen to them, but I don't exactly watch them.
Gotcha. What was your favorite vacation?
I've been to Bali, and Bali is amazing, and I'm actually going back there. Oh, here we go. Here's some news for you. I'm going back there 31st of March to the 6th of... Wait, what? May, sorry. 31st of May to the 6th of the next month. What is it, June?
June.
What are the months again? Yeah, so I would like to get some recordings. I'm gonna call it Buddy Goes to Bali.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
that'll be fun.
I'm gonna travel with him and try and get some interesting sounds over there. So that might be where I get the beach sounds.
There you go.
Kuta Beach is beautiful there.
So are you gonna leave the girlfriend at home and say, no, I bought a ticket, but it's for Buddy?
No, she'll be coming with me. In fact, she has her own YouTube channel, so she'll be probably vlogging over there and doing her own thing. Nice.
Okay. Do you want to plug her channel?
Yeah, I would love to. Neonax. Neoknacks. She does DIY videos and sort of polymer clay modeling little videos, and she wants to get into fashion and different things, beauty, and yeah, it's cool.
Awesome. So you sort of gave us a hint of what's coming up on your channel, but as we're running out of time, so if you want to kind of give us another tip-off of what else is in the cards for Soundbuds?
Oh, I can't believe I haven't mentioned this, but I'm getting this amazing instrument called a handpan. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay, it goes also by the name of a hung drum, H-A-N-G. It's like the best description of it is it looks kind of like a UFO. It's like a steel UFO that sits on your lap, and you use it kind of like a steel drum, but instead of using mallets, you use your hands. And I'm getting one of those soon, and I want to be doing relaxing music videos with that. So if you look up on YouTube later on, handpan, you're going to find the most magical instrument you've ever heard in your life. It's
wow.
Amazing. It's so amazing. So I'm getting that sent to me soon, so that's definitely in the cards. More binaural beats, ASMR. I want to do guided meditation, so I want to actually be able to overlay over the white noise, over the relaxing music, just some sort of relaxation guides and meditation guides and things like that. Maybe specifically to target stress, anxiety, panic disorders and stuff like that. Because I just know personally, I know people who suffer from those, so I really want to do that. And also, actually, here's my rant. You've asked a big question here now.
Okay.
I also want to do personalized guided meditation, personalized guided relaxation. So what I want to do is record me doing a guided relaxation, but leave gaps in where I would put people's names.
Yeah.
And then maybe do that as a service. So, maybe on Fiverr or something like that, just, something cheap, that you could get your own personalized relaxation that you could listen to. So I could say, Jose, you are relaxing, you are breathing deep, and you are relaxing. Jose, listen to me now. Something really personal. And that was probably a really bad example, but
that was kind of creepy. But
yeah, it was a bit creepy, wasn't it? I'll have to work on my script there. But that is also something I'm thinking about as well. So there's much to do. But that's about it.
That's great, and I'm enjoying the videos. I was telling my wife, I've sort of become a Pokemon fan, just from the videos. But I told her we have enough junk in the house, so I'm not gonna start collecting the cards just to look at them. Unless we just had a baby boy. He's gonna be 4 months tomorrow. So so if he wants to start collecting, it's not me, it's him who wants to.
Use him as a scapegoat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. Gotta get me that Garchomp.
Yeah. I wish I had a scapegoat like that. I don't have any kids, so.
Oh man.
It's gonna be great when I do, though.
There you go. Well, I mean, you'll be a cool.
That's always set up.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. You'll be the cool dad with the Pokemon cards.
Until I become a teenager, in which it really will not be very cool anymore.
Yeah. In which case you'll be the weird dad with the Pokemon cards.
I'll go through all the phases. It's gonna be good.
There you go. Anyway, CJ, thanks a lot. It was a pleasure having you on the show, my friend. I hope you had a good time.
I definitely had a good time, Jose. Thank you so much for inviting me on the show. It's been fun.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. CJ's a really cool dude, and he's going to become our second contributor to the show. He's going to be providing us with ASMR movie reviews. Next episode, I'm going to bring you his review of Avengers: Age of Ultron. And it's a good one. I think you guys are going to dig it. But we're not done with CJ just yet. He's provided us with a exclusive ASMR track, which I will place at the end of this episode. So without further ado, let me wrap up here so we can get to CJ. I want to thank Mr. Ross Bugden for his music. It's amazing. Go check him out on YouTube. I want to thank you for listening. If you are an ASMR artist and would like to be on the show, please email me at asmrpodcastinfo@gmail.com. That's asmrpodcastinfo@gmail.com. Also, if you have a question concerning ASMR or any ASMR-related topic, please email Dr. Craig Richard at asmrpodcastinfo@gmail.com, and I will forward that to him, and I'll have him back on the show to answer your question. I want to thank you so much for listening. I want to thank you so much for being a subscriber. Hopefully you are. Please remember to like and to share and to do all the good stuff you need to do to help us get the word out about the show and about ASMR. Well, there you are, and here I am, and we're at the end. I'd like to remind you that ASMR does not stand for Android Slapping Rainbow Monkeys. It stands for whatever makes you happy. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you on the next episode. And remember, you gotta catch 'em all.
Hi guys, CJ here. My YouTube channel is Soundbuds. Soundbuds. Today I will be doing a segment for the ASMRtist show. I hope you guys Thanks, guys, for listening. I'm CJ, and my YouTube channel is Soundbuds. Check me out on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned for more content from the ASMRtist show. Thanks. Bye for now.
That's it for the ASMRtist show for now, and our host Jose Prentice would like to remind you that those tingly feelings in your scalp might not be signs of a stroke after all. Follow us on Twitter for daily ASMR video recommendations and updates at ASMRtist_show. That's at ASMRtist_show. Also, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next time with another tingle-tastic episode.